Awesome. Well, thank you for joining. My name is Anastasia Adam, and tonight I want to share with you a little bit about some of my journey with doTERRA and the business overview, and then open it up if you have any burning questions at the end. So this is the doTERRA business overview, and I'm just going to come down to this little section where I talk to you a little bit about me and my journey. So it's 4 years ago, 4 years and like a month ago, one of my friends introduced me to doTERRA, and she introduced me to the oils but also to the business opportunity. And at first I was not interested. I don't even know why I wasn't interested. More so probably because I had a 10-week-old baby and my baby wasn't sleeping much and crying a whole heap. And just getting through the days were a bit of a struggle. And I was also not in an amazing place mentally either. So with that on board, I didn't really think I could take on a business opportunity. I had just sold and closed my business that I'd been working in, which was a business broker. So what I would do, my full-time job was selling businesses. So I would come across business opportunities all the time. I would get to see their profit and loss. I would get to see their systems and really understand lots of different kinds of businesses and how they would run and how they would earn their income and get to sell them. So getting straight into another business was not something I had on the forefront of my mind. But after a few attempts of my friend reaching out to me, I was happy for her to come and hold a workshop so I could learn a bit more about these essential oils. And from that workshop, I got to learn that they are not just nice smelling stuff that I used to have in a burner. They're actually therapeutic essential oils that can help us with our sleep, help us with our emotions, our gut, a whole range of things, but also to live a low tox life. And when I investigated the oils further, I was really blown away with how great they were and how great doTERRA was. So that's where my journey began. And I had just another 10-week-old. So I had a toddler and a 10-week-old a couple of years later, and my business went to platinum, and platinum is a 6-figure rank. So with the way that I ran my business, it was around my babies and my husband working ridiculous amount of hours. It was something that I found was not easy to do. So I couldn't just sit there for a few hours to work on my business. I literally would work on my business when I could, or when I would go for walks and I would talk to people. I would offer them to have samples. And that's where my stepping stone started. When we started seeing the results of the oil, so my hubby had a cold, the little one slept better. I was using some essential oils to help her skin rashes. They are the moments that really was eye-openers to our family. So we realized that, hey, these oils really are amazing and they work and they can support us. Looking after your health and wellness is really important, and it's something that people are interested in. The essential oils were definitely supporting us with our health and wellness. So I knew that there was going to be a positive onset of this business. One thing that was really interesting, when I was selling businesses, I had quite often people ask me why I wouldn't snap up the businesses that I had for sale, that I could buy them, fix them, and on-sell them and make some really good money. It never really stood out to me as the most incredible opportunity. And I didn't want to lock myself into one place. I didn't want to buy a business where I would, for an example, a pizza business or a chemist or something like that, where I would have to slug out the next 20 odd or 30 years being in the one place. I wasn't interested in being in the same 4 doors. I was always been used to getting in my car, driving, meeting new people, going into businesses. And I knew that if I was to buy a business that was like a pizza restaurant, I would also have to have my husband in. And he is terrible at staying in the one place as well. He wants to be out and about and just being able to work from wherever. That was one thing that really caught my eye about doTERRA, is I didn't need to sit in front of my laptop. Literally, my first few posts were done from my phone while I was breastfeeding my baby overnight. So it was the flexibility of being able to work whenever I wanted to, however I wanted to, that really caught my eye. And people can spend anywhere from 5 hours a week to 40, 50 hours a week if they choose. It's totally up to them. I definitely got a really big passion for the business early on, and that was what really drove me. So I would be excited to be able to get 15, 20 minutes when my baby went to sleep to put into sharing the oils with someone, or creating a new post, or making some samples. It really filled my heart, and mentally it was really positive for me to have something that I could build and I was focused on that was for me as well. It was really healing. With the financial freedom, which is where we're at now, this is something that I couldn't believe the compensation plan with doTERRA. And I was definitely really blown away. I've done multi-level marketing before, and I've seen hundreds and hundreds of different businesses. But when I seen what doTERRA was about, and how doTERRA pay, and how doTERRA support, and the value you get for the expense that you have monthly, I was blown away. Just to give you an example, in businesses that I would sell, and our business that we're running, our monthly expenses were $15,000 a month, and loads of businesses are way more than that. So no matter how much income we would bring, we would always have to outlay that. So if we wanted to go on a holiday, we would still need to know that we would have to be able to make that money to be able to pay every month just for our expenses to keep the business running. With doTERRA, it simply is your loyalty reward program. It's getting oils, spending 100 PV, which is about $150. I was always doing 150 PV orders, so I knew roughly my expenses would be a minimum of $200 a month. And it was almost jokeable. I had just finished up from a business that was costing me $15,000 a month. And here I was going to spend a couple of $100s a month. And it wasn't just money blown in the air. I actually got to come home with the most amazing essential oils that were supporting my family. So it was just a no-brainer. I just wasn't sure if I was mentally in a place that I could do this. But I did know that I loved the oils, and the compensation plan was incredible. So I thought, right, this is a great opportunity to, even if I can earn a few $100s a month to support our family while I was home with my baby. So I was really grateful and excited about that. So this is the thing with doTERRA. It's a financial freedom pipeline. It's not something just to quickly make money and build this really huge business and that's it. This is something that you can build it at a fast pace, but it is a long-term business. It's not something that you're going to buy for a year or two like businesses I would see, and then you can sell them off. This is a business that I was looking at a vision for 5 years and 10 years and 15 years ahead of time. And this little story that you see in front of you is about a man who would haul his bucket. So in another way to explain that, it's working his everyday job. So he was still bringing in income, but on his time that he wasn't working, he was creating a pipeline. So he was taking these big pipes and he was creating a pipeline. So instead of carrying buckets of water to the town, he was going to be able to stream the water. So in 5 years or 10 years, when he eventually got his business to where he wanted it to be and his pipeline built, he was going to continue to earn an income from that water stream flowing on. And that was all his hard work that he had done beforehand. And this is so important for any type of business that you start. It's the first few years, you know that you're going to work really, really hard. So I had that in mind. I said, I'm going to work really hard for 3 years and I'm going to see if it works. Anything that happens before 3 years, I'm just going to kind of close my eyes and I'm just going to do it for 3 years and see if it's gotten anywhere. And then I'm going to make a decision if I want to continue or not. And clearly I'm still here. So it was a really good decision to make. But that is a business. So the other thing was that it wasn't a huge outlay to start my business. I got the home essentials kit and a fractionated coconut oil. You know, it was under $400, and I was used to selling businesses of, you know, 400,000 or over $1 million. So the outlay was really incredibly low, and I felt that I didn't have much to lose, but I still had to have the focused mindset that I had invested quite a good amount of money to be able to stay focused on my business. So the business opportunity was really, really exciting for me. And this is a picture of doTERRA, and this is a little bit about doTERRA. This is a picture of Utah. So we have offices all over. We are global. This is where our labs are. This is where a lot of the work gets done in Utah in our main office. And it's exciting. There was just the US convention that was on, and it's a really big event, like 35,000 people attended. Absolutely incredible. So why doTERRA? Their product is the most tested and the most trusted essential oils on the market today. So worldwide, there's over 4.5 million customers. So that means that there is a lot of people that trust our oils. And out of those people, 65% are rebuying. So we have a 65% retention rate. I'll just scroll down so you can actually see that, which is quite huge. Most companies only have around that 8%. So what that tells me is we have a product that people love to use and they're going to reorder. So if I am, something that I learned in one of the courses I did when I was selling businesses was, with your expenses of a business, it costs you less to support and maintain your customer than what it does to get a brand new customer. And doTERRA are absolutely incredible to do this. So they have programs like our loyalty reward program, which rewards customers for being loyal and offers them a free oil every single month. And that's a great way to help us retain our customers. There's lots of resources that we can use to send off to our customers. And our team personally has like email starter series, and we've created lots of booklets and challenges that anybody that enrolls gets access to. So it's really good to know that having a high retention rate means that the work that we're doing today is going to help to support our business in 5 or 10 years down the track. doTERRA's growth, the first 7 years was the same as Apple. So we grew really, really fast. And something else that I love is the company was not in debt. So I know that in my hard work that I've done, it's not going to go to, you know, a company breaking down. They're not in trouble because they're not in debt, which is great. Being part of $1 trillion wellness industry, we know that wellness is a huge market. It's an absolutely huge market. And it's only becoming more and more in people's eyes to have something more natural in their house, to clean their house naturally. You know, we've come a full turnaround. A couple of generations back, there wasn't chemicals being used. There wasn't a whole heap of chemical deodorants and facial creams and cleaning products full of nasties. And then the next generation there was, and now with our generation, we're coming to a time of noticing why where our health is not so amazing and how harmful those chemicals are. So being in a wellness industry that has products that can sustain our health and wellness is absolutely going to be amazing, right? doTERRA Care, so they are changing the world. We have co-impact sourcing, we have Healing Hands Foundation, and you can learn all about them if you go to our source2u.com website, which you can also see where your bottle of oils come from and all the science behind it. So we've got little codes on the bottom of our oils so you can read all the purities and how amazing they truly are. So doTERRA Changing Lives, I got to be part of a girls' day, which was creating sanity pads for women who don't have that kind of stuff, where when they have their monthly cycle, they're kind of shooed away and not to be seen, and they can't work. Their kids have to come out of school. They have to support them getting the water. And doing this, I got to do this incredible opportunity with a lot of my team members, and it was so rewarding that we could give back. So with doTERRA, you know, when a lot of companies, you hit these really awesome, amazing ranks, they kind of give you a car or a house or these crazy things. What I loved about doTERRA is they didn't flash around, hey, hit this rank, congratulations, you know, you've got a car. Or what they do is they actually give you the opportunity to go to these countries, most of the time that are third world countries, and participate in building houses, in building schooling, in doing the most incredible work. And I absolutely love that. And they don't give that opportunity to everyone. You put your name in a hat and they only pick a certain amount of people. And that is definitely a seller for me, because I know that the money is going back into supporting these countries that we farm our oils from, which is really cool. You get to speak to some of the farmers and you'll understand just how much they love doTERRA as well. So let's talk about success and let's talk about building a doTERRA business. There's 3 simple steps to building a financial pipeline. But the thing that I find that becomes not so simple is our brains are wired to try to make things complex. And we try to like, oh, how am I going to invite someone? And things get really tricky. But when we just strip that back, it's actually a really simple business to build. And it's a really simple business to continue on no matter what you're doing in your life. If you've got kids or if you've got another job or another business, it's a really good opportunity to build yourself a business. So preparing, our pipes is kind of our signature of how to build a business. So you want to prepare yourself, and that we've got guides. So within our team, we've got a mentor program that is at your own pace. You log in with a password, you get to work through the prepare video. It then has like a PDF that you work through to get yourself prepared to build the business. And then there's another part of our mentor program that's about inviting, how to invite really well, how to invite authentically. And there's a handout to go through that as well. So all of these pipes and all of these guides of how to build a doTERRA business and how my team's built a business, we have them recorded in a mentor program that you can work with. So when you're enrolled, you've got your mentor program ready. You also have the person that enrolled you there to support you and have mentor calls with them. And most of the time you get another buddy that you get to buddy up with as well. So the stuff that's there to support you to get through your pipes and get your business up and running is really exciting. Then what it's important is that you're sharing. So you want to be sharing the business opportunity to others, and then teaching others also about the oils and teaching others about the business opportunity. That's where it becomes a duplicated business. And if one of my good friends who introduced me to doTERRA didn't, we would have been in a completely different space and our lives would be completely different today. So I think about that if I ever go to get in my way or doubt myself or my abilities, I always remember that there is somebody else out there that doesn't want to do what I was doing, which was working full time and then 2-3 other jobs around that full-time job as well. And that's not sustainable. That's burnout long term. So I think about that, and I think about if I'm cheating myself and I'm cheating other parents that want to be with their kids, or other people that want to retire happily and financially wealthy by not sharing the business opportunity. So that's where I get my confidence from, to share the business opportunity to other people. So this is what the possibilities are with doTERRA. And remember when I shared with you at the beginning that when I started, I was really looking at the compensation plan. It blew my mind away. When I think about the businesses that I was selling and the work that had to go into it, sitting in the 4 doors, and the expenses that I had to create, that I had to pay for all the time, they never really stood out to me. But when I seen this, I just went, what? I would be happy to get Premier. And it was a little bit less because doTERRA have only changed their compensation plan once, and in that change they've actually given us an extra bonus, so they've given us more, which is pretty incredible. So Premier, as you see, it's down here. I was happy to get to Premier, which was about $600 and something a month. And I thought that would really be incredible. So that was where my thought was. I didn't feel that I was mentally in a place grieving and having a newborn baby that I could create anything up here whatsoever. But I was happy to use my oils, get my oils paid for by enrolling other people, and earn some extra money to help support our family. So Premier is quite a really significant rank, but the first main one is Elite, and this is our stepping stone. So when you learn how to build a business to Elite, and our mentor program will support you and show you how to do that, then you share the opportunity with 3 people, and those 3 people build their business to Elite. You've got yourself a silver rank. Now this is leadership. This is what we call leader. So once you get to silver, you're a leader with doTERRA, and the support that we get at these ranks is incredible. You get given your own account manager. So you can email, you have weekly or fortnightly or monthly calls with your account manager, and they help train you on the back office strategies, and support you to help grow your business up and up and up, which is incredible. It's not an extra expense. You don't pay for this. Once again, the only expense that you have from doTERRA is your monthly order, which is incredible. You get your own back office, you get your own everything. It's kind of just there, and it's incredible. So at silver, it's $2,300 a month approximately. And that means you've got 3 people underneath you that are also building a business that are hitting Elite. Now, when your elites get to Premier, now that was where my goal was. And that meant that when me and a couple of others got to Premier, Kim, who introduced me to the business, got to gold, which is a significant amount of money. And this is where most people decide to quit their jobs if they're working somewhere already. So having a gold business means that you've well and truly covered what you're earning a month generally in most circumstances. But sometimes some people are happy to take that cut if they were earning more to be at gold, because they know that the very next rank, so when your premiers get to silver, you are then at platinum. So platinum is a rank that I hit when I had a toddler and a 10-week-old baby. So it wasn't something that I was pushing really, really hard, but the month leading up to that month, which was September 2 years ago, I really went out of my way and hosted a whole heap of classes and enrolled a lot of people and built my business up to platinum, which is absolutely life-changing. And it was great to know that we had that financial stability, and hubby could be home for a couple of weeks while I had another newborn baby, and we didn't have to stress. And the great thing about creating a residual income business is, if that was another business, for an example, my old business where I had to tap out, we had a really terrible tragedy happen to us, and I had to step out of the business for 12 months. That made a massive impact on the business, and it could not run without me. My doTERRA business continued to run when I was home with my newborn baby. So if you need to have that support where you need time out, a residual income business means that the business continues to be residual, which is pretty incredible. So diamond is a rank that took me 3 years. Some people I know has taken them 6 months, 18 months. I've taken 3 years. And it's totally up to someone's journey how long it's going to take. So there's no exact, there is some averages, and I've been pretty much spot on those averages when it comes to rank. But I've been pretty happy with that. It's an incredible amount of money. The first time I hit diamond, and I sent my husband a photo of how much that I got paid, and compared to the amount of hours that he works every week and every month, and he doesn't get nowhere near that kind of money, he just couldn't believe it. We were quite pinching ourselves going, wow, I never imagined this to happen. I only ever thought maybe I'd get to Premier, and I'm still like blown away that it's an opportunity that we do have, and it's there. It really is. There's lots of people that are at diamond or above, and it's there for anybody. It is a long-term business strategy. So the way that I wanted to build my business was to make it strong. and not just have to go fast and kind of get there. I wanted it to be a really strong, stable business. Now, there are other ranks. There is Blue Diamond, and that's when you've got 5 gold leaders, and then Presidential Diamond. So directly above me, we have 2 other leaders that are Presidential Diamond, and there is other people that are Presidential Diamonds and double Presidential Diamonds above me. So that means that they've been able to grow this business twice, and it does mean that this income doubles as well. And this is a month. This is average a month, which is incredible. So the way that we get paid this income is it's broken up into a few different ways. So when you get to leadership, you get percentages of the global earnings of doTERRA and it gets divided into your individual ranks, which is, a good substantial amount of money. Then there's leadership bonus, uni bonus. This is also paid monthly. And why doTERRA's compensation plan was really exciting to me was that you got paid less for the people closest to you, but you get paid more percentage for the people that are, for an example, on your level 7. So what that means is everyone's not trying to protect their frontline and add everyone on their frontline, because that's where you make the high amount of money. In a lot of compensation plans, you would be making that 7% off your frontline, and you'd only be making that 2% off your 5th or 6th line. But because it's switched, it's in everybody's best interest to be supporting their business leaders and their business partners. So that is why it's so incredible, because people are wanting to support their people. It's also supporting them. So having less people really close-knit to you and having more people under your leaders supporting them to build their leaders is where we get rewarded the best way. So it's just a great compensation plan to support your team and everyone to be as a whole. Then there's a Power 3. This is another bonus that we get paid every single month. So if you have a look here, I just want to point this out. See how this leadership bonus comes down and it shows you here in the orange, and then uni level bonus comes down here in the green. Well, what it shows is at the start of your business, they are not the big part where you get most of your income. But as you go higher and higher in the ranks, they are a big chunk of what makes up that big amount of money. The Power of 3, this is in US dollars. So this is a little bit more here if you're in Australia. And your first level Power of 3 is $50. So if it's you and you have 3 people on your front line on LRP with 100 or above, and you all make a team value of 600, you get $50 US dollars for the month. Now, this is why myself and my leaders used to put 150 PV. So the minimum recommendation is 100 PV order for a month to get paid with doTERRA, but we always did 150 because that way your 150 will always make your 600. However, you can add extra people here to continue on to make the 600 up. Then when your 3 frontliners do the same, so the next level, it's 250. And 3 levels down is incredible 1,500 a month. So it's over $2,000, which is every single month you get this bonus for having this structure in your business. Then there is Fast Start. So Fast Start is made off your enrollment. So when we start sharing the oils. We share with people how they can enroll as a customer or as an advocate. And when we personally enroll someone, we get paid 20% of their PV, so off their order. Now, this gets paid weekly, which was something that really stood out because we didn't have the money for me to get my first kit, and we didn't have enough money for me to continue ordering the next month. So I knew I worked out how many kits I would have to sell to be able to get my monthly order paid for the next month. And that was by making 20%. Then when I enrolled people and they wanted to do the business, whoever they would enroll, I would still earn 10% from every single person they would enroll and whatever that person would buy for 60 days. And then when their person, so the third level, would buy, I would also make 5%. So this is where you continue to make a weekly income as well. As you can see, it's not the massive chunk when you're at these higher ranks, but it is where a lot of your money is coming in that you're earning when you're at those elite, premier, silvers. I still think that they're quite important around here. It's incredibly generous. We get paid so many different ways with doTERRA. It is about getting out, enrolling, and changing lives. So this is, I think I've spoken a little bit about this, the networking model in conjunction with high quality products and service. So we have, I find that the people that I've met through doTERRA have been so absolutely incredibly amazing, and I have gained some lifelong friends, and it's literally through these bottles that we gain those friendships. So it is something that's enjoyable. It's something that I face to every day that I want to work on. And most people, I think everybody I've spoken to who doing a doTERRA business loves showing up for their business, because we have just the most amazing people and supportive teams all around us. So what would you like to do to make the biggest changes and impact in your life? Here's some ideas just to share with you. Earning more. So do you want to be debt-free? Do you want to have generous savings, financial freedom, giving to charity? So my business at the point now that the local schools, there's lots of local schools and fundraisers, and they know they can reach out to me, and I will always give them something for their fundraisers. And I love that. They're always like, oh, Anastasia, thank you so much. We know we can lean on you now. We can always guarantee that you're going to be there for us. But I love that. Like, I love that I'm in a place that I can give to charities. Like, that feels really good. That's really rewarding. So that's a great thing to be able to do with earning more. Working smarter. So time freedom. I have all the time in the world. You can have all the time in the world with your kids, or it might be some other hobbies. Lots of people that do doTERRA travel Australia, they travel Europe, they go on their family holidays while they run their doTERRA business from their phone. So we can pick it up, we can have the time freedom, we can work the hours we want. Quite often, I'll be with my kids all day, and then when they go to sleep at night, I will spend an hour or two working on my doTERRA business because I wish to, and I got to spend my day with my children. So it's totally up to others. Some people love to work their doTERRA business school hours, and then when their kids come home, they spend the night with their kids, take them to all their sports, put them to bed, enjoy a movie at night. So whatever it is, you can do. I also like that I never have to miss out on anything with my kids. I can go train when I want to. If my husband needs me to do things for him while he's at work, I can. It's just endless. It's total time freedom. Building your dream. So if you do have a dream to travel, or you have a dream for a certain type of home or certain type of lifestyle. Improving, self-improvement. So, oh my God, we're always going through books and courses and lots of things to self-improve. Financial planning. So this is stuff that helps us work smarter. Doing what you love. So travel. Who doesn't love to travel? Educate, service, and spend quality time with the family. So partnering with doTERRA and where you want to be. This is a really cool time frame. So I'll explain this a little bit here. So if you want to be elite, so elite premier income goal, so that's the range that it is per month. It's saying you need to invest 3 to 5 hours a week. Your goal is elite in 2 to 3 months and premier in 6 months. So you personally enroll a few people a month. Incredible. So if you're personally enrolling people, you're supporting them, you're getting on the loyalty reward program, and 3 to 5 hours a week, I believe anybody can put into their doTERRA business. If I can, I believe anybody can. Now, 10 to 15 hours per week. I probably started putting this amount of time in when I was maybe gold, maybe silver or gold. And if I had done so earlier, my business would have grown a lot faster. But that was a priority of mine that I chose to be with my baby. So if you're in a position where you can put 10 to 15 hours in your doTERRA business, it will grow really well. And this is a time frame. You'll be elite in 1 to 2 months, silver in 6 to 9 months, gold in 1 to 2 years. You're personally enrolling 4 customers and 1 builder a month. And that's how your growth will really work. And this is where you want to be sitting if you want to supplement your income. Now, to replace your income, you'll see some people go really, really hard for a couple of years, get themselves to a really strong rank, and then they can back off on the amount of time they spend on their business and enjoy the lifestyle that they want. 4,875 up to 16,000 a month, but you're investing 15 to 30 hours in a week. You're personally going to get to elite. The average is 1 month, silver 2 to 3 months, and diamond in 1 to 3 years. I've seen people get to diamond in a lot quicker than that. I got there in the 3 years. Kim, who introduced me to the business, who has had 3 little kids at the time, a hubby that worked a lot, worked till she got to gold, got to diamond in 18 months. Very dedicated, spent a lot of time on her doTERRA business, enrolling 8 customers, it tells you, plus 2 builders a month to get to these ranks in that time frame. So if you can see, being that it's a pipeline business and we're looking at creating something from 5 years to 10 years, and this is something that we want to keep going forever, and we can then gift our business down to our kids, which is absolutely incredible. Depending on what amount of time you put to your business will depend on how long it's going to take you to get to these ranks. So the great thing is, no one's there telling you you have to do 3 hours, you have to do 15 hours, you have to do 30 hours. It's you. It's totally up to you what you would like to do. Launching your business. So there's 3 steps to launching your business. There's the live guide. Now, the share guide, launch guide, all these guides are in our mentor program. So we have an online mentor program. You have a password for, they are specifically for our team, and you get one of our amazing leaders going through the guide with you, and then you can print out, or you'll get some of the guides in your starter pack, but you can also print them out anytime. They're online available, and you work through that PDF. They are the building stones of launching your business. And here is just the first example of writing your wish list of the lives that you want to change. So I can see there's a question. I'm going to stop sharing. And amazing. Awesome. Now, I would love to open it up to you guys, and I'd like to spend the next amount of time, 5 or 10 minutes, whatever you need, to share and answer any questions that you have. So if you've got questions about the compensation plan, about my journey, about anything, please feel free to unmute yourself, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Do you guys have any questions? Yeah, I'll unmuted you.
Oh, no, I did it too.
Awesome.
That was great. Thanks, Annie. I've heard that quite a few times, and that was really, really good explanation. Or maybe I'm just further down the track and it's starting to sink in properly.
Oh,
But,
thank you.
I often look at the amount of work that is suggested to put in, and I think, oh my God, what am I doing wrong? Because I put so much work in, but clearly not. I do a lot of work, but it's probably not the right work because, the struggle that we all have with finding workshops and that sort of thing. And I know that you can create your own opportunities, and I do try to do that. But I think that some of the things that I've done, and I don't regret any of the things I've done. I love doing all the different, workshops or down at the supermarket shopping. You don't necessarily appear to be getting anything out of that.
Yeah.
At the moment, but I think you do in the long run. I really think that's part of the pipeline as well.
Yeah, absolutely. To answer the first question, we do need to be really disciplined to make sure that we're doing the action stuff for the majority of our time that we spend on our doTERRA business, because sometimes the really fun, exciting stuff is not always the stuff that's going to bring us the income. The other thing is absolutely what you said at the end is really true. And I'm going to give you an example of this. I have not knocked on a door, been in a business, or handed out my business card, or sent an email, or promoted or advertised my business broking business in over 5 years. And I still get one call a month asking me if I can go sell their business.
Yeah.
And quite often that business was very similar to this, that I would have to almost get interviewed and put myself out and network myself every single day, and also be in the forefront of people's minds and faces. So when they were ready, when they needed to commit to sell, or when someone needs an essential oil, when someone's feeling unwell or low, that they would think of me. So consistently showing up. And I think it's Eric Worre that says that people need a minimum, and I think it's even increased these days, a minimum of 12 contacts before they make a decision. So here is somebody holding my business card who I, maybe over the 15 years that I sold businesses, maybe I did go in there 3 or 4 times, and they'd probably seen my advertising in the newspaper many times, but the time wasn't right. And I am so sure that many other business brokers have been there in the meantime. The impact that I've left from all those hard years of work has obviously still stayed, and that's where the work's coming now. So I know that they say the minimum time, so the work that you do now, the minimum time for that to really pay back is 3 months. And I do hugely believe a lot of times it's a lot bigger than that too. So I think a lot of stuff is when they see your success. So when somebody sees that you're moving in the ranks, or that you're still showing up, that's when they put their hand up and say they want your help and they want your support. And the other thing I find is people are really scared that this is something that you're just going to do for 12 months. And then if they've put their fingers and toes into this business, what happens to them if you decide you don't want to do this anymore? And that's where the long-term commitment I find is, I actually find that my business becomes easier with the longer that I've been doing it. And the hardest part was those first 3 years. And I think most businesses are really hard for the first 3 years, and 70% of them actually close down. But we've got the most incredible business plan and opportunity that's already set for us. So we don't have to think about that. We just do need to show up for our business consistently. And I've had lots of times where I've gone, why am I doing this? Or it's not working, or I'm just not good enough, or why is so-and-so playing the comparison game. But I think that long-term commitment is when people go, oh, wow, like it's been a while now, and Anastasia's still doing this business. And I find that, like, we had a wedding a couple of weeks ago that we went to, and so many people went, oh, I've been watching, congratulations, you're doing well on doTERRA. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, you just don't know who's watching or what's going on out there.
I totally agree with that. And I think, not that I sound like it tonight, but I am a singer. And for many, many years, I knocked on doors, and I continued to knock on doors. And then when we moved up here 5 years ago, I was getting calls for years, like, are you going to come and work at our winery? And I'd have to sort of say, oh, it's a little far to go now, for a couple of $100, it's not worth it. So, yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think I'm seeing that now in my business. And I'll tell you something that I did, if you've got just one sec.
Yeah,
that's right. When I had a switch in my mind, and people would say initially, how are you going with your business? And I'd say, oh yeah, I love it, but it's a bit slow at the moment. I thought, no, that's the wrong answer. I need to actually switch that and say to them, it's fantastic, it's going really well. And I not only believed it myself, but other people started to look at me differently and respond to me differently. And now, as you said, they're noticing that I'm still doing it, and people are sort of coming forward now.
Absolutely.
Because of the fact that they're watching, and some of the negative people are coming forward.
Yeah.
Can I add something to Bev's?
Yeah.
What's funny, Bev? We've been talking about this the last couple of days, Anastasia, and it's quite interesting because you know what? The last few weeks, and it's everyone I speak, most people that I speak to said, "How are you going?" I'm like, "Oh, I didn't realize you're watching, but you are."
Yeah.
I'm like, they're like, "How are you going?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going good. I'm doing, really good." And they're like, "Oh, where are you now? Like, what level are you on?" I'm like, "Oh, wow, some people are actually watching. People are actually watching without us realizing they're watching." And that's something in the last few months that I've noticed. People that I wouldn't even think are commenting, talking, even or even asking people that know how we're going, which is amazing, which is really amazing. And in my case, it's like, "Oh, you're still doing that. You're doing everything else, but you're still doing that."
Yeah.
But yeah. Sorry, just wanted to share that.
Yeah, no, don't be sorry. Yeah, that I think you're
And
right.
Bev,
Absolutely right.
Bev, can I say something to you? I think that it's part of the journey, really. Like, we all feel like that, and I have my days too that I feel the same way, but you just don't give up, because one day we're going to get beyond this and we're going to be saying the same things that Anastasia says, and Jodie Naylor says, and everybody else kind of says. I think it's just part of the journey, but we just can't give up. Just got to keep going.
Yeah, I think that it's a business for the long haul, and if you know that the work that you're putting in is not wasted, like I wouldn't do anything else now. I wouldn't be anywhere else. And like I said, I don't regret any of the things that I've done. And yes, I would have done a few things differently. And yes, I would have had a rocket up my bum. But, that's the journey that I was on then. But I know one thing for sure, I'm a different person now to what I was 2 years ago when I started. Yep. And I'm really happy about who I am now.
Me too. That's probably been the biggest rewarding thing. And the people that I've met along the way, and something that's always been really important to me is women supporting women and women having women's back. I was always hated the the girly thing at school where it's like, "Oh, I'm so like, it's not my gig." And I would work at fitness places and they were all like attacking each other, and I would work somewhere else and they were all amazing. We are all women and we should be supporting each other. We need each other. We need community. And that is the biggest gift that doTERRA has given us and gives people, is having a community and having uplifting, amazing people that are not judgmental, they're supportive. And no matter where you are in the organization, no matter whose business you're part of, someone will grab your hand and someone will hug you. And that for me is really powerful. And I love that I've got two girls and they get to see that. They don't see the other side that you can come across with women. They actually just get to see women supporting each other and loving on each other all the time. And that really touches.
That's the beautiful thing. Like, we're all one. We're all one circle and we all fall under one family in our tree, and that is the most amazing thing. And it's funny because I said that to somebody I was speaking to today, and she's like, "But I don't understand. What do you mean?" I said, "But we're all one circle. We all sit in one circle. It doesn't matter whether you're where you are. We are one circle. It doesn't matter whose team you're part of. We are one circle." And that is the most beautifulest thing, to be able to, I love getting on our calls. It's so empowering. It's so loving. It's not, and somebody said, "Oh, but you got to do your own thing." It's like, you are doing your own thing, but you're not doing your own thing because you're not alone.
There's no judgment.
That's right.
There's
and
no
sometimes
judgment.
I'll say, I went to convention. They're like, "Really?" I'm like, for the first time, I actually got out and did what I had to do, and I went. And it is absolutely empowering to have 5,000 people in one room. And they're like, what? They're like 1,000 people. I said, no, 5,000 people. And they're like, really? I'm like, yes. And to them, that's mind-blowing. They're thinking 5,000 people. I guess I'm like, yes, 5,000 people doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And that just is empowering within itself, I think, to have all of
5,000 people who are like-minded, you know.
Correct. Yeah. And we all just want the same thing.
Absolutely. And look, going back to like question and answer things, there will be times within any business where you're just not sure, or you find it tricky and hard and you're not sure if your time is worth the effort. Absolutely. But I have always found they are the moments that when you're sitting in that and when you're willing to think, what more can I do? Do I have anything left in the tank? Is there something else? And then you just have these ding moments. You have these flashes come to your head and you're like, oh, okay. Then you try it and your business has a different like uplift and a different avenue. And you're like, why didn't I think of that earlier? In those struggle moments when we allow ourselves a space to go, what do I need to do now? What has to happen? And this is not just doTERRA. This is business. Like, this is business in general. McDonald's. You know, McDonald's got to a stage of going, shit, we need to bring in healthy food here. We need to give people a healthy option. And this happens to so many organizations and businesses. And it's happened to me many times in doTERRA as well. I really significantly remember my first Diamond Club. I was premier and I was driving, flew big trips with the family. And I just looked at Satiri in the back, the 8-month baby, and her face, I took a photo of it, was absolutely freaking exhausted. And hubby took his time off work and he was exhausted driving me around 6 hours for that day. And I just went, I am so sorry, guys. And I had 7 classes in the end that had no shows after my first class up there. I had 7 no shows or cancellations. Continuing on when I came back to Melbourne, I just went, this is hard. This is not what I expect it to be. And then I found different ways to do things. I changed up how I was inviting. I changed up where I was inviting, where I was networking, and I seen my business have a shift. And by the end of the month, my business actually went to silver. So it's in those moments that we just look around and you remember them. You know, those like pictures, like you just see them, you look around, you go, what am I doing and why am I doing this? And what if I wasn't going to do this? But what if I continued to do this? And then you're like, well, I've just got to keep on going. And that's where the results come, for sure.
Yeah, a breakthrough will happen eventually if you keep trying, but if you don't keep trying, you're not going to get anything out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think sometimes with businesses we compare. So, but you know when you said earlier, you're like, oh, my business isn't doing so great is the first thing you used to say, but your business is not doing great to what? To what other people are doing, to what you thought it was going to do, to what standard. If the perspective changed and it was someone else looking at your business, because this has happened to me as well. I've gone, oh, you know, it's taken me a while to get to where I'm at. And they're like, really? And I'm like, well, yeah, it's taken so-and-so jumped on and got to platinum in 2 months. And then I think about it and I think, yeah, like it's still done pretty well. Like if I was looking at a business that I would sell, it is pretty hard for it to have gone from where it was, like non-existent pretty much, to where it is today with the amount of time and hours that I put into my business that are chosen by me. It's impossible pretty much. So then I look at that and go, hang on, if I don't compare just who I've seen, but I compare it in business-wise, we're actually doing pretty good. So yeah.
Yeah, and also all the other stuff you go through along the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thinking of my life 2 years ago, not going to bore anybody, but things were not in a good space, you know, just through family problems and big, really big problems, really big shit. Oh, the big stuff. Sorry. Really big stuff. I didn't realise there was a little E there. Hello. Yes. So, you can't to